Okay, so thank you everybody to the super duper implementation specialist meeting. We got Faith here, we got Dominic at Numa, we got Michelle are you at Lahontan? Hi Dominic, are you Lahontan, Michelle? I'm at Numa. Okay, you're at Numa, okay, and Vanessa is there too. So we have a few people on. No big deal. For those of you who are not joining us live, we're recording this so you can refer to it when you get the chance. And there are just a few things I don't anticipate will go super long, but those of you who are live with us today, you have the benefit of being able to ask questions. And I hope you will if something comes up, and maybe you can anticipate if other members of the team, you think they might have a question, you can ask for them. But we just want to make sure that we're going the right direction. We want to say, first of all, thank you so much for all the work that the implementation specialists have done in this first semester. It's really amazing to me to see so many teacher leaders step up in like one unified effort, and it's been really awesome. So thank you so much. And I want to compliment you on the good things that you've done. It really is amazing. So there are a couple things that we just thought would, at the end of the semester, would be a good time to kind of wrap up some loose ends and make sure that we're all on the same page. Michelle, I know you're on remotely, but feel free to jump in whenever you want. And we'll take care of these things, and then we can all go home and find Christmas candy to eat and stuff like that. So, first of all, I want to tell you we're meeting because there was a little like blip in the progress where there was some confusion on files and where the files needed to be and where they were, and maybe some files got lost or didn't or whatever. But anyways, we want to make sure that we do not, that was like a wake-up call, and so we want to make sure everybody is on the same page as far as saving documents and getting them in the correct place and named and all that. So the first thing that Michelle and I have done is we've gone in and we have changed the settings, the permissions for a lot of people. There were a lot of people who were set as managers, which means they could do all kinds of stuff. It's not that we don't trust everybody, but we don't want too many random accidents that could happen, right? So all implementation specialists still should be able to add documents, edit documents, even delete documents. And we trust you with it. If there's ever a question on what you need to do, please let Michelle and I know, and we can help you. Now, if some members of your team come forward and they say, I don't know, it seems like my permissions have changed, that's why. We decided just the implementation specialist would have all of those permissions. Now, I'm going to actually turn on the screen here, and so we can go to a Google Drive and check it out. Now, everybody else, we don't have like secrets, right? Everybody who needs access can get access to this Learner Center Framework folder. And you can see there's 107 people. But what we do want to make sure is that everybody has the right permissions. So if I were to open this up right now, you guys are seeing the screen, right? I mean, you're going to have to tell me with a microphone because I can't see anymore. But okay, good. So if I were to look on here, it's going to show me who has access. And you can see there are just a few managers. All of you implementation specialists are content managers. And if you're ever curious what that means, you can click on there and it shows. You can add, edit, move, and delete files. Other people who want to get in can be contributors. That would be adding files or editing files, or if they just need to view it, whatever. So this is one of the assignments that we're going to pass along to you. Would you please take a look and consult with your team? And if somebody in your team wants to have access to view in here, just email Michelle or I with their names, and we'll make sure that they get in there. It's not necessary that we have all folders and all files in here. I want to emphasize this is kind of like our final product place. So if you want to have multiple files and you're working on them and you have drafts and things like that, that's okay to have on the My Drive. But when you get into this shared drive and you put something in here, this is what we want. This is where we want to have the final copies. Eventually, we want this to be a very transparent system for parents, for students, for everybody. And so this is the one place where we want to have those final copies, where we know if we come here, this is where we've got the primo product that we love, right? And
not everybody can view that then and run copies off of that?
At this time, it's possible that some people do not. Right now, there are only 107 people. If somebody wants to get in there, we can let them get in, but we just don't want to give everybody delete access so people don't accidentally delete. But you as implementation specialists, if you're getting ready to put your final stuff in, this is where it goes. Now, I do need to advise you that once you put a document in here, you are transferring ownership of that document from your document to the shared drive. And it'll give you a warning message. It'll say you're losing ownership. So if you have a desire to have copies of your own files, make a copy and keep on your drive, because once it goes in here, it becomes part of the whole group, right? So that's important. So please keep a separate workspace if you desire. Get people to the folders they need. You can let us know. And that's that. The two more things I would like to go over. I guess I should ask, are there any questions about getting folders and files and stuff like that, where they need to be? Okay. We just want to make sure that in the end, everybody can find what we've done. You know, everybody worked together. I think we've all been part of things in the past where we work really hard and then we're like, who has that document? It was that Microsoft Word document. Who knows where it went, right? And then all the work gets lost in a couple of years. So we want this to be something we do and we have a great system so that we preserve all the work we've done. Item number 2 on our agenda that I really wanted to mention was about the trackers. So I'm going to open up, I'm inside the Learner Center framework, and I'm just going to go to 2019-2020 PLCs. I'm going to go to the Implementation Specialist Training Materials. And then there's a System Development folder. I was in a meeting with principals and Steve and Dr. Stevens the other day, and part of that meeting was they were going to start looking at your trackers and seeing where everybody was at. And so I'm just going to open the assessment tracker as an example. And so the principals got in there and we were looking, right? And up here you have the tasks or whatever. And we came down here and we're like, do these guys really, all this gray is like nothing is entered, okay? And some of the principals are like, I know my people have been doing it. It's just like, maybe it's not there. So this is one thing that we're gonna ask. And you could see all the little tabs at the bottom, right, to the different things. We wanna make sure that these trackers are correct and accurate. So there's a little scale on the side. If you enter a 1, that means you're 25% done. A 2 means you're 50% done. A 3 means 75%. And a 4, which is a dark green, means that's all the way done. It's there. It's good to go. I'm finished. The principals need this in order for them to be able to monitor progress and have something to look at. And so, you know, as they guide the work. So this is something that we're going to ask be completed by the 6th of January, not of June. So both the assessment tracker and the curriculum tracking tool, they both have the name final version on them, and it's a Google Sheets document. So please make sure that these are updated for your teams. So the principals can come in here and they can say, okay, let me take a look and see what's going on. And, hopefully all this gray, we can get it kind of filled in and a little bit more up to date, right? So that is one of the requests. And if you have gone to level 4, like it's dark green, I mean, that means you're all the way done. If you have, awesome. If not, then please put it accordingly. And the suggestion was made by one of the principals. They're like, this would be a good thing if, like, at the end of each meeting with your team, you just set aside like 10 or 15 minutes to go in and update your trackers as a team. That way they can, see, it helps them to recognize the big picture. And later when we have data trackers, they'll be familiar with what it looks like and how the student data is tracked and stuff like that too. So by January 6th, please have your student data tracking tool final version and assessment data tracking tool final version. Those data trackers that are in here, or excuse me, assessment and curriculum, have those updated, and that would be super appreciated. Any questions on that one? Okay. So the last thing is about naming. We really didn't give any guidance at the beginning on how to name files, but all of us have similar files: course summary documents, assessments. What else do you have, Faith? Anything?
The math assessments and the course summary documents.
Okay.
So ELA and math.
So for ELA, for math, for all the subjects, you have course summary documents, you have assessments,
learning guides,
and you have learning guides. That's what I was trying to think of, learning guides. What we want to make sure is when we get done, everybody's able to find the stuff in an effective way. And that might be staff, that might be students, that might even be parents that are totally new to a lot of this. So it's good to start thinking about everybody naming things the same way. And that way we'll be able to sort to make sure we find and whatever. Now, for me, I think the easiest way would be, let's say I was a freshman ELA teacher, and it's by units, right? So for me, I would just say grade, and then I'd say subject, so ELA, unit 3, and then we can have CSD for course summary document. If it was an assessment, we could go 9 ELA, unit 3, A for assessment. And if it were a learning guide, 9 ELA, unit 3, LG for learning guide, right? Is this okay for everyone? Does anybody have any comments on this? Is that okay with you, Faith? Mm-hmm. Okay. I think if we all start naming our documents in the same way, it's going to be to our benefit in the future when we're trying to sort and organize all of these, because we'll just be able to say, okay, here's all the 9th grade stuff, 9th grade ELA stuff, and whatever, right? So that's my suggestion. So do you want to see that? Okay. So where are you at here? So I'm going to go elementary, first grade. Okay, so I'm going to go to unit 1.
assessment, one learning guide.
Okay. So if you have named it in a different way, you can just right click it and just go rename.
Right.
And then that would be the quickest way. And I would also say if for some reason you have Microsoft Word documents, I'm not going to make the executive call, but I think it's best if we all have the same format. So that's something maybe you can ask your team about. And that would be an easy fix too. It'd just be a right click and then open with Google Docs if we decide to, right? And so during the final days of our semester, that's probably the last thing that we'd want to think about. So I'm going to stop presenting. And we're back. So just to summarize, some simple tasks that we'd really like everybody to address. Number one, check with your team and see if everybody who has access, who wants access, has access. If there's somebody that needs in there still, email Michelle or I, and we will get you access. We'll get those people access. Not full out access so they can delete and go wild, but whatever access, right, they need. Item number 2 would be, please make sure your trackers are updated by January 6th. And item number 3, please begin considering the naming. And if we will all use, okay, so Michelle says she has a list from CCHS, good. So if we can do the naming in the same way. So if you've done it a different way, just right click, go rename, get those all named according to that example that we did on the video, and then boom, we're in good shape. So that's really all I wanted to go over. Michelle, do you have anything that you feel like we ought to be adding to this?
Not that I can think of. I think we covered it.
Okay. So let's get out of here and go eat Christmas candy. Thank you for your time, everybody. Again, the work that you've been doing is really awesome and appreciate it. And I will turn this into a YouTube video and make sure everybody has a link. So after that, you're free to share it with the whole world if you want. Okay, awesome. Have a good day, everybody. Thank you so much. And email Michelle or I if you have any questions. Thanks. Rock on. Bye. That's it. Yeah.
I hope I'm not on the YouTube video.
You will be at the end. You'll be sitting there in the back, but that's okay.
The only one here. I didn't know I'd be the only one here.
Well, it was tough. We were like, we need to meet, but then we were like, everybody's got 1,000 things.
So do you want our trackers or just that tracker updated? You don't want
Just
our
that.
course summary, okay.
Just that one updated so the principals can look at that one.
Okay, gotcha, okay. Because I gotta get mine to Steve, he's gonna make some revisions and then I'm gonna upload it. And we're gonna upload it in the same spot and just call it track. All right?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
yeah, we'll get it going.
okay.
We thought it would just be good to organize a little bit.
Well, that helps and have everything and keep them updated and think about the track.
Yeah,
All right,
okay,
thanks.
cool.
All
Have a
right.
nice afternoon.
Okay, bye-bye.